Hello everyone, my name is Blue Raven 666 and today I'm going to be trying to figure out what the limit is to Alastor's abilities. Considering that Alastor was once a mortal, I think it's safe to say that the radio demon has at least some limits to the power he wields. Vaggie even says that the raw power Alastor possesses had never been harnessed by a mortal soul before, so I think it's safe to say that not every person that gets sent to hell is given an extraordinary amount of power, and when it does happen, it isn't very often. Now, to be fair, there are a lot of theories that could be included in with this one theory alone. But for this video, I'll be focusing on the one that I find the most convincing, which involves the dark circles that appear under Alastor's eyes whenever he uses his powers. I first heard about this theory on a Hazbin hotel group on Facebook, and honestly, I have to agree with it. If any of you guys have noticed, during or shortly after the times Alastor uses his powers to any extent, these dark shadows appear under his eyes, indicating that the use of his abilities causes a strain on his physical form. It's also mentioned in this theory that after destroying Sir Pentius's ship, he states that he's starved and offers to make jambalaya because he's in need of sustenance in order to refuel from using up so much energy. Not to mention his skills in blood magic, which is probably what allowed him to use so much power in the first place. So, between his powers physically draining him, plus the use of his blood in order to cause a massive surge in that power, this theory limits Alastor's ability to what his body can physically handle and what he's able to accomplish without bleeding to death. And I feel like this is a pretty solid theory. There are some parts of the pilot, though, where Alastor doesn't seem to be physically affected by using his powers. In fact, I'm not going to rule out the dark circles actually being a part of his character design, a minute detail that can only be seen from up close. There is another factor that I think needs to be taken into consideration, and that involves how much Alastor may, or may not, sleep. I believe even Vivsipop states that she doesn't think Alastor sleeps at all, or if he does, it's mostly just him standing in a corner, sleeping with his eyes open, which is actually possible as it turns out. In the medical field, it's known as nocturnal Lagophthalmos, and it's mainly caused by issues involving the facial nerves or muscles, which makes it difficult to keep the eyes fully closed. It can also occur if there's a problem with the skin around the eyelids. Considering how much Alastor smiles, I'm pretty sure that's why, if he slept, he'd sleep with his eyes open. There you go, bonus theory right there. Totally free, completely unwarranted. It's common knowledge that in order to have the energy to function properly day to day, the average person needs between 8 to 10 hours of sleep, more or less, depending on the age of the person and their typical sleeping patterns. If using his powers does in fact cause a severe strain on his body, then it would benefit Alastor greatly to catch a few Z's, or at least take a nap. Something. I feel like not sleeping would only cause his powers to impact him even more. Overall, I think Alastor's powers are limited to what Alastor himself can physically handle, and all of that just depends on how much or how often he uses his powers, whether or not what he's doing involves blood magic, and how well Alastor takes care of himself day to day. And considering that he's made it in hell for roughly 86 to 87 years, I'd say he knows how to handle himself just fine. You know, saying that just made me realize that Alastor's probably seen the extermination happen like 86 times. Someone please make a comic of the first time Alastor witnessed the extermination. I need this in my life. That's all for this video, you guys. Thank you for watching. I feel like it's pretty easy to forget that Alastor was once a mortal man with the stupid amounts of power that he wields. So it's nice to do theories like this to see if there's any kind of weak spot that can be exposed, and I'm pretty sure we'll be given a few moments in the show to remind us that certain characters aren't completely unstoppable. I hope you all are staying safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!